Welcome to Eerie Britain, your gateway to the haunted heart of the United Kingdom. From eerie whispers in forgotten villages to spine-chilling tales of ancient cities, we uncover the ghostly secrets lurking in every corner of the UK. But this channel isn't just about our stories, it's about yours too. Have you experienced something unexplained? A haunting that sent shivers down your spine? Share your ghostly encounters with us and we might feature them in an upcoming video. Join our growing community of paranormal explorers. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale of restless spirits, haunted mansions or spine-tingling mysteries. Your voice matters. Comment or share your story. Let's uncover the truth behind the shadows together. So light a candle, gather your courage and become part of the story. Because the ghosts are waiting and their stories must be told.
Atherstone, once a thriving hub for hat-making, was home to some of the finest craftsmen in England. But beneath the town's industrious charm lay a dark secret, a legacy of madness and death. Tonight we unravel the chilling tale of an old hat-maker whose descent into insanity left a sinister mark on this quiet Warwickshire town. Locals call him the Mad Hatter of Atherstone, a name whispered with unease even decades after his death. His story begins in the very heart of the town's hat-making industry, a world filled with ambition, artistry and poison. Hat-making was Atherstone's pride, but the trade came at a cost. The process required the use of mercury nitrate, a toxic substance that gave hats their perfect finish. The exposure to mercury wreaked havoc on the workers' minds, causing trembling hands, paranoia, and violent mood swings. One hatter in particular suffered more than most. His name was Thomas Wainwright, a meticulous craftsman known for his skill and obsessive attention to detail. For years, he worked tirelessly in the factory, his life consumed by the craft. But as the years passed, the mercury began to take its toll. At first it was the tremors, a slight shaking in his hands that he could no longer ignore. Then came the headaches, the sleepless nights, and the whispers that no one else could hear. His once brilliant mind began to unravel, consumed by paranoia and hallucinations. But it was the hunger that truly marked his descent into madness. Thomas developed a craving no food could satisfy. It started with scraps of meat scavenged from the factory's refuse. Then it escalated. Residents of Atherstone began to notice something strange. Pets, cats, dogs, and even chickens started disappearing. No one suspected Thomas at first. He was just a tired old hatter after all. But those who ventured too close to his workshop reported a foul stench in the air and sounds they couldn't explain. The wet tearing of flesh and guttural groans that made their stomachs churn. When a neighbor confronted him about a missing dog, Thomas flew into a rage, his face contorted with madness. "It's the hunger, you don't understand, nothing else works." The neighbor fled, leaving Thomas alone in his workshop, surrounded by the remnants of his horrifying meals. Thomas's health continued to deteriorate. The mercury poisoning ravaged his body and his insanity grew more profound. One night his hunger and madness drove him back to the factory where he had spent so much of his life. It was there, amid the cold, empty machines, that his body was found weeks later. Curled up on the factory floor, his face frozen in a grotesque grin, Thomas had finally succumbed to the poison that had haunted him for years. But his death was not the end of his story. For decades after Thomas's death, the factory remained abandoned, but those who dared to venture inside reported strange phenomena: tools moving on their own, the smell of rotting meat, and the sound of a rasping voice muttering about the hunger. One local teenager claimed to see a figure hunched over a workbench late at night, its hands trembling as it shaped an invisible hat. When the boy called out, the figure turned, revealing hollow eyes and a grin stained with blood. The boy fled, vowing never to return. Today, the factory stands as a grim reminder of Atherstone's hat-making past. Locals avoid it, warning of the Mad Hatter's lingering spirit. Some say he's trapped in the place where his madness began, forever driven by a hunger that can never be satisfied. So if you find yourself in Atherstone and see the crumbling factory in the distance, resist the urge to explore. You might not like what or who you find waiting inside. Have you experienced a haunting in Atherstone? Share your story in the comments. Subscribe for more chilling tales from England and beyond.
Hold tight for tonight's next story.
Atherstone, a quaint market town in Warwickshire, harbours a chilling secret. Nestled amongst the charming shops on Long Street sits a seemingly ordinary cafe. Its faded sign, barely clinging to the weathered brick facade, reads, Mrs. Beale's Tea Room. The name whispers a forgotten history, a history steeped in tragedy and shrouded in an eerie silence. Locals steer clear, their whispers painting a picture of a place consumed by darkness. The cafe stands as a stark reminder of a mystery unsolved, a place where the veil between our world and the next wears terrifyingly thin. The cafe's windows, once sparkling, are now clouded with grime, obscuring the interior from curious eyes. The paint peels revealing the building's age, its weary bones creaking under the weight of its spectral secrets. A chill permeates the air around the cafe, even on the sunniest of days. An unsettling stillness hangs heavy, broken only by the distant rumble of a lorry or the hurried footsteps of passers-by, eager to escape its oppressive aura. This is no ordinary cafe. This is a place where the echoes of the past linger, where the dead refuse to depart. The cafe's namesake, Mrs. Eleanor Beale, was a beloved figure in Atherstone. Known for her warm smile and even warmer pastries, she poured her heart and soul into her beloved tea room. The year was 1943, and the world outside was embroiled in war. But inside Mrs. Beale's tea room, a comforting aroma of freshly baked bread and brewed tea offered a sanctuary from the storm. Then tragedy struck. Mrs. Beale was found lifeless in her tea room, the circumstances of her death a chilling mystery. The authorities ruled it an accident, a tragic fall down the basement stairs. But whispers among the townsfolk told a different tale. Some spoke of a shadowy figure seen lurking near the cafe on the night of her demise. Others muttered about a dispute over a hidden fortune, whispered rumors of treasure secreted away within the cafe's walls. Whatever the truth, Mrs. Beale's death cast a long shadow over the tea room, a shadow that lingered still. Her memory, once a source of comfort, now haunts the very walls that once held her warmth. The cafe, once filled with the joyous chatter of patrons, fell silent, its ovens growing cold, its tables gathering dust. Years passed, and the cafe changed hands numerous times. Each new owner, enticed by the allure of its history, arrived with dreams of restoring it to its former glory. But none could escape the chilling presence that pervaded every corner. Strange occurrences plagued the cafe, driving even the most skeptical to question the nature of reality. Footsteps echoed through the empty rooms at night, their rhythm heavy and deliberate, as if someone or something was pacing the floorboards above. Objects moved inexplicably, cups rattling in their saucers, chairs scraping across the floor as if propelled by an unseen hand. Lights flickered erratically, plunging the cafe into an unsettling gloom one moment, only to blaze back to life with an unnatural intensity the next. Whispers, barely audible but undeniably present, seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. chilling the blood of those who dared to listen. The staff, initially dismissive of the rumors, soon found themselves exchanging uneasy glances, their skepticism crumbling in the face of the unexplainable. The cafe's basement, shrouded in an almost palpable darkness, is a place of particular unease. A damp, musty odor permeates the air, clinging to the back of the throat like the remnants of a forgotten nightmare. Cobwebs drape the room like ghostly shrouds, clinging to rusty tools and discarded furniture. At the far end, concealed behind a wall of crudely mortared bricks, lies a door. A heavy, iron-wrought door, its surface cold to the touch. Local legend claims this door leads to a hidden chamber, a secret room where Mrs. Beale stored her most prized possessions. Some whisper of a small fortune amassed during the war years. Others believe it to be something far more sinister, a portal to a realm beyond human comprehension. Whatever truth it holds, the bricked-up doorway stands as a silent sentinel, a grim reminder of the secrets buried beneath the cafe's foundations. Amongst the few artifacts remaining from Mrs. Beale's time, a solitary photograph holds a place of morbid fascination. It depicts Mrs. Beale in her twilight years, her once warm eyes now clouded with an unsettling intensity. The photograph hangs in the cafe's dimly lit back room, its presence casting an unsettling pall over the space. Visitors report feeling a cold shiver run down their spines as they pass by, a prickling sensation at the back of their necks as if they are being watched. Some claim to have seen the image within the photograph change, Mrs. Beale's expression shifting from one of gentle serenity to a menacing scowl. Others whisper of seeing her eyes move, following them around the room as if tracking their every move. This unsettling portrait serves as a constant reminder of Mrs. Beale's enduring presence, a haunting testament to the tragedy that unfolded within these walls. The photograph remains, despite numerous attempts to remove it, as if bound to the cafe by an unseen force. One bone-chilling evening, as a lone staff member locked up for the night, the silence was shattered by the shrill ring of the telephone. Heart-pounding, the young man cautiously answered, a faint crackling like static from a distant storm. Then a voice whispered a single word, "Help!" The voice, laced with terror, sent shivers down his spine. His grip tightened, but only faint crackling remained. Abruptly, the call disconnected, leaving him in eerie silence. He dialed 999, voice trembling. The operator dispatched a patrol car. Officers found no sign of forced entry. The incident was dismissed as a prank call. He couldn't shake the feeling that the voice belonged to Mrs. Beale, her desperate plea for help echoing through the decades.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't have nightmares.